we dive into today's episode, a moment of mindfulness. If you're driving or moving around, feel free to skip ahead and save this practice for later. Find yourself in a comfortable seat. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Breathe. Take a moment to arrive. Feel the earth beneath you. Simply notice your breath. Place a hand to your heart, a hand to your belly. There's no need to change anything yet. Inhaling gently through your nose. Exhaling through your mouth with a soft sigh. Release the tensions in your shoulders. Let the shoulders melt. Let the shoulders drop. This meditation is for the ones who've been unseen, for the ones holding pain and purpose in the same breath. I will guide you through some inhales and exhales. On the inhale, we will silently say to ourselves, I hold space. On the exhale, say for myself. Then on the inhale, I hold space. And on the exhale, for others. Inhale, I hold space. Exhale, for myself. Inhale, I hold space. Exhale, for others. Inhale, I hold space. Exhale, for myself. Inhale, I hold space. Exhale, for others. Imagine someone you've seen who's been overlooked. Maybe it's a student, a neighbor. Maybe there's a version of you. With each breath now, send them your light. Send them your presence. Send them your power. Inhale, I see you. Exhale, I honor you. Let your breath be a prayer of connection. see you. Exhale, I honor you. Inhale deeply, filling your body with kindness. Exhale slowly, release any weight that isn't yours. If you haven't done so, place your hand over your heart. Feel the rhythm of opening up and filling your body with kindness. Inhale. That's life. That's love. Exhale slowly, releasing the weight that isn't yours. Whisper to yourself, I am here. I am whole. I am light. Gently blink open your eyes. Carry this energy into your day.
Hey, pod stars. In this power-packed and soul-filled episode, I sit down with yoga pioneer and community healer Jyll Hubbard, founder of Urban Asanas, to talk about the gritty, the graceful, and the sacred path of carving out space where none existed before. We dig into spirituality, visibility, and the grind of being a Black entrepreneur in wellness. Jill's wisdom hits hard, whether she's talking about teaching chair yoga to Caribbean aunties or disrupting the mainstream image of yoga one community class at a time. This episode is a call to action, a heart hug, and a reminder. Be kind, be seen, and never dim your damn light. Today on Yoga Pod 108. Okay. Ooh, let me get my microphone.
Hello? Ooh. Hello.
Hold on, let me turn you up, baby.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, so let me give you heads up.
Okay.
I'm a vintage bitch.
Okay.
So it takes me a little bit longer. I was raised on the Betamax.
Okay, the Betamax. Okay.
And the 8-track tape. Okay, stop playing.
Okay, 8-track.
Oh, see. Hold on, let me because I don't look as sharp as I should. Let me just play my little
Just a little white.
It's
I
the
love
shea
this.
butter. Okay.
Oh, come on.
I have a question.
Okay.
I use a little bit spicy profanity sometimes.
Okay.
I'm
I
very
love spicy
real.
I love spicy profanity.
You know what it is? I'm very honest, and that's what it is. And I'm an acquired taste, and I'm not for everyone.
Okay.
So that's just what it is. I mean, and I turn the yoga world upside the fuck down because it needs to be.
Yes, and I want
So,
go for it.
I'm just giving you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it PG-13, but sometimes R comes out. Okay.
No, that's fine. Look, I have
right.
Beyonce behind me in her
Hey.
in her horse, and I have Lady Gaga over here.
Yes.
So
I just have my kitchen stuff.
Oh, we love it. You're cooking.
No, I'm not cooking.
Oh, she doesn't cook.
I'm an empty nester, honey, so I don't cook that often.
Okay. Empty nester. So we could start there because
So you tell me when to start. We can do whatever you. I just kind of glanced over the questions and because I'm very impromptu, so I
love that.
You know what I mean? And I don't want you. Go ahead. Go ahead. Whatever you do, go ahead and do what you do.
Or do you wanna? You could just like start us off wherever you want to go.
No, I want you to start.
Okay, I'm trying to
So
be
hold
my,
on,
my
when's your birthday?
March 7th.
Oh, you're an Aries.
No, I'm a Pisces.
Ooh,
Oh.
wow.
I'm a Pisces, Sun, Leo moon, and that's what, yeah, a lot of people get the Leo moon from me, as opposed to my
What,
Pisces, but don't
what's your
worry,
rising?
Taurus. Yes, I'm a little
I'm a
water, a little
Leo.
fire.
See, that's what it is. I'm a Leo, Sagittarius, Aquarius moon. Fire,
Oh,
fire.
fire, fire. Yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
water, fire, earth.
Oh, I like that.
So I'm just
So go
all
ahead,
over the
Chris.
place.
We could be doing this all day because
Yeah,
let me
I
let
know.
you go. Go ahead.
I love yoga. I love horoscope. I love astrology.
Uh-huh.
So, well, I love how you said you're an empty nester because you said one of your biggest teachers in your life is your children.
Yes.
So I read that on your bio. Do you want to
Yes.
talk, like, we want to start with your kids and how they're your teachers in your life, and then we can get right into yoga.
Well, basically, I have three daughters. I have a 25-year-old, a 22-year-old, and a 19-year-old. And I had to learn that they just came through me. You know, they are my best teachers because you don't have a book on how to be a mom. So you have to kind of throw things against the wall and see what sticks. And I've learned that my kids are really the epitome of me. They're very they're self-advocating. They're beautiful, and I'm not saying because I'm beautiful. They're very smart. They're very about community. Um, and they're out there in the world doing their damn thing. My oldest daughter just moved to LA on Saturday to do a PR thing. And then my middle daughter lives in the city. She's working on documentaries. And then my youngest daughter is at Northwestern and she's an actress.
Oh
So,
wow.
you know, and then my husband's in the movie business. So it's just like it's
Oh,
just
that's so
me,
cool.
it's me, the dog, and the cat.
And your yoga studio.
And my yoga studio, of course. Yeah. Oh, and then
So,
my oldest, hold on, and then my oldest daughter is actually doing a yoga teacher training.
oh, now it's running in the family.
That's the plan.
Okay. No, I just
That's
got
the
out of my
plan.
yoga teacher training, my 200 hour,
Oh,
and
where'd you
I'm
go?
Three Sisters Yoga.
I've heard of them. Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Awesome.
And this is part of why I'm trying to like get insight into the business aspect. I'm trying to start my own online business for yoga and trying to get
Mhm.
into like the studios and such. So, I'm trying to hear from the experts almost on like how how do you start a business in this industry called fitness. So, what are
This,
some of your stories behind starting Urban Asanas?
well, first of all, I never wanted to have a yoga studio. Um, and actually, my 25 plus years ago, when I did my teacher training, I didn't do it to become a teacher. I did it to perfect my practice.
Mm,
And part of even how this, and that's the thing, like I believe in the divine timing and divine order, and everything is already written. You just have to show up. So when I got certified, I was popping around all these different yoga studios, and I really didn't have a studio home. You know what I mean? But what I noticed that in a lot of these spaces, I was the only Black girl. And, I started doing yoga and I started bringing some of my Black girlfriends to places that I was doing yoga and they weren't feeling it.
mm.
They, you know, I mean, I don't give a shit. I mean, if I find something that makes me feel good,
Yeah.
I'm the eye of the storm. So you can't, regulate what the hell I'm doing.
Right.
And so I'll never forget one of my friends went to one of the studios that I go to, and I can't say the name. Um, one of the studios that I went to that was kind of now I'll frequent.
Mhm.
She was a Barnard grad,
Okay.
beautiful woman, had a scarf on, and the teacher said to her, "Hey, you with the do rag." and my girlfriend was livid. And then within that same week, one of my friends, acquaintances, said she went to a studio and the teacher told her, "Oh, your butt's too big. It won't be able to get in that posture." So I had this light bulb that I need to be in the game a little bit.
So going to like continuing the story,
Mhm.
what were some of the challenges you might have faced in creating a studio? You believed in divine timing. Did any of that
Right.
play a part to how things kind of transpired after getting the initial idea? I need to create a space for all people to feel um,
Um,
like themselves and to be able to express who they are and where they come from and be safe spaces.
I mean, well, the thing for me is that because now it's kind of like I'm trying to reinvent the wheel. So now my studio has been open for almost 20 years, right? I
Yes.
have the only Black-owned yoga studio in Crown Heights.
Mhm.
However, when I opened my studio, I didn't have a business plan. I didn't have an idea of what I was doing. All I know is that I was teaching yoga at a studio in Crown Heights that was sold out each time I taught.
Mhm.
And my idea was because, I mean, in Prospect Heights, I taught in Prospect Heights, but I lived in Crown Heights. And
Mhm.
so, and it's not a far distance, but I wanted to try to keep something over there. So my
Mhm.
students, so I wouldn't lose my students.
Right.
And, and it's crazy. And this is my interpretation and this is my shit. Like, it's like these white women want to put these Black women in spaces and just keep them boxed in. They
Mhm.
don't want you to, they don't want, they want to see you, but they don't want to hear you. That's what
Mhm.
it is. Like you can say, because, it's diversity shit in yoga too.
Yeah.
Like they want to have their drops of Black people, but that's about it. Like you can't go in and kind of flip it over and let's really do something about the change. So I ended up not finding a space over in Prospect Heights. I
Mhm.
ended up finding a space 1 block from my house. So my studio
Mhm.
literally is 1 block from my house, which again, that's divine order.
Mhm.
Because when something goes down with the studio, I can just walk right there and I'll be there in less than 5 minutes.
Right.
So that's kind of how it happened. And then the space that I found, and my landlord happens to be a gentleman of color, which is
Okay.
also lovely, who is also invested in this community, who also wants to see Black successful businesses, which
Mhm.
helps tremendously. The space used to be a church.
Oh.
So it already has
Yeah.
ancestry, energy,
Mhm.
so it was already there. So when I first opened the studio, uh, well, no, that was a church. I'm sorry. I had 2 yoga studios first.
Oh.
I forgot about my first baby.
Okay.
I had a space called, it was at 752, which is 4 doors down from my space now. And it's still
Okay.
the same landlord,
Same.
whatever.
Seeing.
But basically we had that space. It was a second floor walk up. And I remember it was before, I couldn't afford Mind Body.
Mhm.
I had nothing, and I remember I taught in the first 6 months. I taught every class. I taught
Mhm.
every class. I was teaching 2 to 3 classes a day, and at that time, my kids were younger, and I sucked as a mom and as a wife because I
Mhm.
had nothing to give. I poured everything into my students, everything, everything, but it was like the little train that could. I'm like, okay, I'm going
Mhm.
to do this. I'm going to do this, and then that studio, we got too big, so that's when I found the place where we are now at 843 Sterling Place.
Mhm.
And I had half a place. The space doubled with mats, like pretty much
Mhm.
doubled. And then COVID hit. And that's
Mm.
when everything changed.
Right.
And and it's funny because I hear, like, especially now on the internet and, social media, how you can open up a yoga studio, how da 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 da. And
Yeah.
and it's funny. Do you prefer Christopher or Chris?
Chris.
Chris. So, like, to me right now,
Mhm.
I wouldn't tell anybody to do your teacher training
Right.
because what I'm seeing as a business owner is that everyone is not everyone, a lot of people are leaving yoga and they're joining gyms because the gyms give you yoga, Pilates, weights, and all of that other stuff. But in my brain, in those classes, you can't get soul.
No.
You can't get, I have a class on Sunday called Super Soul Sunday. I can't teach that shit at Equinox.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm just abiding my time with my thumbs twisting, like everything, it's the reason, it's the season, it's the dot, like that's gonna play out too.
Mm-hmm.
Especially where we are in the world, like everyone can't afford a $250, $300 membership at Chelsea Piers.
No. No, it's true.
I
I can't
it's
afford it.
yeah, I mean it's a rough time out here in the yoga world.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I mean, it's a rough time in the world, period.
Mm-hmm.
But in yoga, it's really rough. Like I would never tell anyone to open a yoga studio ever,
Mm-hmm.
ever. Not unless because most let's keep it a buck. Most of the people who own yoga studios are trust fund kids anyway.
Mm.
Facts.
Yeah.
Google that.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to, I switched careers. I used to be, I think, weren't you in elementary education?
I just
Or
taught in schools.
you taught in schools? Okay,
No.
got it.
Mm-mm.
Because I used to be an elementary school teacher. Yeah, I worked in elementary schools for 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I recently left the education field because it was getting super stressful.
Yeah.
But I
And
like
you
got
just went
through.
from the frying pan. You went from the frying pan to the skillet.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So then it's just like and I also wanted to be my own. There's a lot of politics also in schools,
I
and
know.
like
No,
organizations. Yeah.
I have students. I have
Mhm.
yoga students
Mhm.
who are school teachers. So I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I've heard the
So I
stories.
wanted to be my own boss. So I was just like, I want to do my own thing. But it's been hard, with trying to fund things and get funding. So I see
Hmm.
where you're saying it's like a lot of people who get these moments in life where they could just go out and just say, I'm just going to open something.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of money and a lot
It,
of
it's
investors.
I have to say, I mean, and this is I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual.
Right.
You know, I have a huge altar over here, and I just came back from Cape Verde.
Yes.
And I speak to my ancestors a lot. A
Nice.
lot. And they guide me. So as I was saying in the beginning, it's like I just kind of show up. Like
Hmm.
I I move from my heart. I teach from my heart. I live with my heart. Like that's how I move. That's how I move around here. Like, can I tell you ABC to do to open up a studio? No, not really. Because I'm like, if you sit in your shit and pray about it and think about it, it'll come to you. You
Mm.
know what I mean? Like, don't go and spend $1,000 on a gimmick. It was somebody telling you, oh, if you do this, and your studio will be successful. I call bullshit
Hmm.
because things happen,
Right.
especially where we are now.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So like I'm not raising my prices. Like I'm keeping it very
Hmm.
cinched.
Yeah.
Very. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
it's just I I have I talk a lot of shit. I have something to if you stay ready, you don't have to get
You
ready.
get ready. Yeah, I love that phrase as well.
So I stay ready. Like
Hmm.
I'm protected. Like one of my ancestors is sitting here right next to me, like, girl,
Hmm.
tell Chris about it.
Hmm.
So that's like, so you just, it's so, I mean, yoga is just,
Hmm.
yoga is complex
Yeah,
and it's supposed to be so simple.
truly. Let's talk about you're very spiritual and you have super soul and
Uh-huh.
there's kind of a sense that when we talk about yoga in the gyms, there's like a sense of the soul being sucked out of yoga. And I
Yeah.
feel like within yoga and meditation, there's a lot of soul that has been a part of the yoga culture since its creation, since the
Mm-hmm.
beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk more about the importance of kind of creating spaces where there is soul in the yoga?
Well, like I said, my current space was an old church. And it's energy. It's you know, Maya Angelou had a saying,
Hmm.
something like, I mean, I can't quote it, but like, you can meet people, but people will remember how you make them feel.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, I remember, and I mean, the first yoga class I took was and this, you probably don't even know who this is, was at the David Barton's gym.
I
You
know
know who
Dave
David
Martin.
Barton is?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, right. And it was on Broadway.
Hmm.
And the teacher, she was this beautiful Brazilian woman named Leisha. And the second I stepped on that mat, I felt like I was home. And the first day, and I don't know if that had to do something with Leisha or if that had to do something with me. You understand? And I
Hmm.
didn't dissect it and think about it too much, but it's something like, if you build it, they will show up.
Hmm.
Now, you can't tell me, or maybe you could, you can't tell me these gyms, they don't give a shit about their people who come in there. They want that money. They want that money. They built these skyride, all these things. They want chink. They don't give a. So to me, how can you put lipstick on a pig and say it's great?
Hmm.
Or I mean, it's still cute. It depends what kind of lipstick they got on.
Yeah.
But eventually it'll smell like a fucking pig. You know what I mean? So you can go to the gym and yeah, get snatched. But how's your heart and how's your spirit? So
Hmm.
that's what it is with Urban Asanas. You come into this space, I don't judge you. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you do. I just want you to come in and breathe and be.
Hmm.
Because I've been a little, and I even hate to even say it, I've been a Lululemon ambassador since Chip Wilson had Lululemon.
Hmm.
I don't even really fuck with Lululemon too much, to be honest, because there's so many other things that's out there that's comparable to what they're doing. Um, and it's people just have this preconceived notion that yoga is skinny white girls with all these amazing clothes on, and that's not the case.
Hmm.
That's not the case. And to me, when people can tap into their own spirit, that's what yoga is. I mean, I
Hmm.
know we have all the asanas and da 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 da. Da. Like, I mean, but when you think about it, look at Bikram. That
Hmm.
motherfucker can't even come into the United States.
No.
You understand? Like,
Yeah.
like that is all of these. I just saw that article in the Time. It's not funny about the
Right.
sipping water in the hot yoga studio. You hear about that?
No,
Oh my
I didn't hear about that one. I
Google
heard about
that, Chris.
Bikram, but
That's a good one.
what's
The
the tea?
teacher, the teacher. Well, have you ever done a Bikram class?
Yes.
Right. Well, I do hot yoga, but it's
Uh-huh.
not
It's
that
not that.
violation. But
Mhm.
it's the 26 poses, and it's just
Yeah.
a specific time that you're supposed to drink the water or take a sip.
Hmm.
And this woman did not. And I
Okay.
guess she was ostracized by the teacher. So it turns out that the woman's an influencer or a TikToker or whatever the case may be. She walked out and stormed off about it. And then it was a thing. And so
Hmm.
now, next thing you know, the teacher's been fired.
Hmm.
And to me, I get it because I mean, I had an incident in the Bikram studio and I had to take and I remember I had just had a child and I had to take a sip of water. And the woman came over and said something. I said, "Girl, you better get the fuck away from me."
Hmm.
Like, and that was it. And she knew. Like, don't do that. However, on the flip of the coin, if you know you're going to a hot yoga studio,
Hmm.
there are rules and regulations to a hot studio.
Right.
So it's either or, but it's an interesting article. But I think, and just as a studio owner, did you really
Hmm.
have to fire the teacher? But okay.
Yeah, but she's also the teacher's probably going by kind of the rules and regulations of the
Well,
practice.
allegedly, yeah, but then it's funny, then
Yeah.
the teacher still practices yoga. It's a weird thing. It's
Yeah.
anyway,
I
yeah, so
but
that is that.
I
But
think that's
so
like yes. because I think what we're discussing is the practice versus kind of this like commercialization of the
Mm-hmm.
yoga space versus what is the actual practice of yoga. Um, because, you'll have, oh, I need to follow these sets of rules and I need to do it this way. This is what Bikram yoga is, as
Right.
opposed to what is yoga and how do I inspire people to practice their own yoga, you know?
Yeah. It's I mean, but the thing about it is, real talk. I
Hmm.
mean, I do Iyengar, I do all different types of yoga, but like at my studio, I play all kinds of music. We're a ganja friendly studio. I mean, we're not smoking weed, but like we have events like 420 is coming up. I have a breath and beats that I have. I teach a yoga with house music. You know what I mean? Like just all different things. And I know some, some of the yogi deities is flipping over in a temple
Hmm.
somewhere. But that's my yoga.
Right.
That's my yoga. I mean, like in Iyengar, they don't play music. You know what I mean? But again, what I do works for me and it works for my community. And it's also very welcoming. So, maybe you like it, maybe you won't. I don't know, but I'm gonna continue. But I know that I'm here to do what I need to do, and I'm doing exactly that. And I'm here changing a breath at a time, someone who needs it because we need that. Like I'm not, whether you can touch your toe. I mean, that's the thing that's so funny is like I'll come across my bed. Oh my God, I can't touch my toes. I can't come
Right.
to yoga. And I'm like, girl, fuck your toes. How's your heart?
Mm.
You
How do
know?
you, so you speak a lot about the breath. How important is breath in your practice and in creating a space where people are breathing?
Chris, you stop breathing, you die.
Yeah, you're right.
That's it. That's it. I know, well, as we said, I don't know if you had started recording, but I'm a Leo, I'm a hothead, and that's kind of
Yeah.
how I got into yoga.
Hmm.
I would punch somebody in their fucking throat in a heartbeat. Like not start a fight.
Yeah.
Not start a fight. I never hit anyone first, but if
Mhm.
you come for me wrong, you better fall back. Like it's
Right.
just and so which means that I would probably be in jail.
Hmm.
And so I noticed that when I get to those points, so I'm like, and I take a pause
Hmm.
and I inhale and I exhale, it just starts to take it down.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It just starts to go, and like the breath is everything to me. It's everything to me. Like, I mean, I don't do I mean, I've done so many pranayama exercises now. It's
Yeah.
just like I can stop and I'm like, girl,
Mhm.
it's I call it like slicking my edges down.
Okay.
Just like I'm gonna breathe, I'm gonna work it out, and I can just feel my whole body just becomes more relaxed.
Hmm.
I mean, even
Yeah.
when I go to bed at night. I mean, it's not I don't want to say it's a ritual, but like
Uh-huh.
I lay down and
Hmm.
I'm very aware and conscious of my breath. And
Hmm.
also when I breathe, I also give thanks because gratitude as much as this breath is gratitude
Right.
and give thanks. I mean, I give thanks for you for you even seeing me, for you even seeing me.
Right.
That's the blessing and I thank you for that.
Well, I'm so gracious that you're here with me,
Yeah.
and
But like
chatting with me
it's
right
but it's
now.
that. But
Hmm.
it's the give and take.
Right.
I mean, and even though we're not doing it like in the yoga,
Yeah.
we're sitting up here exchanging energy and also
Yeah.
exchanging breath. Because
Hmm.
even when I said to breathe, you kind of sat back and your shoulders went down.
I know.
You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's just those little pebbles that are important. I'm not trying
Right.
to, I'm not trying to have a big ton of a rock. In my opinion, it's the little pebbles that makes the change. When you throw a
Yeah.
pebble in the water, it ripples.
Right. And not to make a shift, but in
Shift,
terms of
shift,
I'm like you
shift.
talk about Cape Verde and the work that you did over there, and I saw the post from the Ghana trip regarding you're like, we're gonna keep coming back,
Right?
and you've partnered with it, and that's such a um, huge step within your urban asana space to have this like
Mm-hmm.
retreat.
Mm-hmm.
So like, how was that experience being in Ghana, and kind of like how is the yoga over there? I know it was a retreat, so you probably brought a lot of people from.
I didn't do
Uh,
any yoga in any of those places except the
Okay,
yoga
got it.
that I taught.
Yes.
Um, First of all, well, I'm gonna go back to Ghana.
Yeah.
We went to Ghana in August of last year. I had
Mhm.
never been to Africa.
Mm.
And again, when I stepped off that plane, I cried because I felt like I was home,
Mhm.
and to be received there from the people and to be in a space that all you see are Black people is phenomenal.
Mhm.
Um, and to go to places like the point of no return, the point of re- the point of no return. Are you familiar with that?
No.
So the point of no return is the place that the Africans were in. It was like a prison before
Mm.
they went off to become slaves.
Oh.
And I mean, and you have places, rooms, I can't tell you the measurements, but they would have them packed in there like sardines. And even when you go, because you can go into spaces, and for me, I could still smell the flesh. I mean, like
Mm.
there was a guide who told us like it was they had one prison cell that had women that were shackled together and like they didn't have a bathroom. So
Mm.
if they got their menstrual cycle, they would just have to bleed. If somebody had a baby, they would just have it there. If the person died, you could have a person shackled next to you for days and weeks dead.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So, and just, I mean, and it kind of comes full circle. And that's why I'm kind of a little bit more like not freaking out of what's going on in the world because my ancestors have been through some shit. So I'm
Mhm.
built for this. I'm
Right.
built for this. So it was it's profound. And Cape Verde had that same energy. It wasn't all white, but like
Mhm.
it was some Europeans over there. But it's something to be around people who look like me. I mean, and that goes back to even yoga studios that aren't diverse. And I don't understand because I've been on boards. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm speaking at the Berkshire's Yoga Festival in June. I mean, why are there not more diversity in yoga studios?
Mhm.
And that's a rhetorical question.
Right.
Like what are because it's funny, I was just having a conversation with
Mhm.
some of the girls in my community last night. Like, it's not the fact that Black people can't afford to pay. That's
Mm.
don't get it twisted, because African Americans is the largest consumers in the United States. Trust. But what it is that why am I going to spend thousands of dollars to come to the space and be the only Negro in the space and
Mm.
don't feel supported and don't feel and not felt and then you don't feel held. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So those are the type of conversations in my 58-year-old
Mhm.
ass we need
Yeah.
to have.
So how do we? I don't want to say how we like. It's a huge
Hold
issue.
on,
How do?
Chris, can I
How do?
tell you something?
Uh-huh.
Real talk. I'm gonna sit back and crochet. It's not for me to answer.
Okay.
They gotta
They
figure it
got to
out.
answer. Oh.
That's just like the march.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't a bunch of Black people marching this weekend. It was a bunch
Mhm.
of white people marching. I I didn't create this.
Mm.
I didn't create this.
Right.
Put me on more platforms.
Got it.
Put
Mhm.
me, you know what I mean? Like, even with the whole Lululemon thing, yeah, like I'm an ambassador. It's only you got to watch what you say, and that's another reason why people probably don't put me on platforms because I give no fucks.
Right.
Handle your business.
Mhm.
Handle your spiritual business, folks.
Mhm. Mm. That's that. And that's on that. Okay. So when it comes down to the 15 years of almost 20 years of urban asanas,
Mhm.
what do you contribute to the longevity of the space? because you went through, like you said, through
Oh,
COVID,
mhm.
business
I,
crumbled. Yours
oh my
didn't.
God, so many yes, so many businesses closed. That's my community.
Mm,
My the people who show up. Oh my God, I'm getting goosebumps. The people who show up get it. You understand?
mhm,
Like I have people who have been with me since I've started teaching. They're still coming to me.
mhm,
I've had people who moved out of New York and now they're back and they come back. They're like, I've traveled the world. I haven't been able to find. You know what? You know what it is? It's like it's funny.
mhm.
'Cause sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I need like I'll watch and I try to get off the damn social media, but you'll
Right.
see they're doing all the sequencing and
Mhm.
sequence, blah, blah, blah,
Flow,
blah,
flow,
blah.
flow, flow, flow
And
with
it's
us. Da,
like,
da, 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 da,
yeah,
da.
yeah, and it's kind of like,
Mm,
again, how's your heart?
mhm,
How you treating yourself? How you treating your neighbor? What imprints are you giving to the world? Like it's just I I give you a nice, I mean my classes, but like a nice, excuse me, vegetarians, a nice meat and potatoes class, like my sequence, but I'm not trying, you know what it is also too, I'm not an ex-dancer because half the fucking teachers are half dance or you know what I mean? So like
mhm.
I'm listen, I'm almost 6 feet tall. I'm built like an Amazon.
Uh-huh.
And at 58 with 2 hip replacements and with Lyme disease. There are
Mhm,
certain things and menopause.
mhm,
There are certain things that my body right now will not do. And guess what? I don't even want it to do.
mhm.
But this is from the heart. And
Right.
people see that because I'm not fake. What I'm giving you is what I teach in my class, it's how I talk to my kids, it's how I do with everyone. I am consistent. And I think that is what shows. I don't
Mhm.
care if the world is this, I'm gonna stay true to what my peeps got for me. And my peeps is
Right.
my ancestors.
Wow. 100%.
It's
It's like
like,
you say,
damn.
yeah, like I think like I'm caught. It's not that I'm like caught off guard. It's just you say things and it's like I'm embracing it and I'm like sitting in the spirit of what you're saying almost.
Mhm.
So it's like if there's like pauses in between, I'm just like, wow, it's just like it's very
Yeah.
inspiring. There's a lot of outreach from you to your community
Mhm.
on your social media, and I think what's because you talk a lot about gratitude in part of our conversation, and I think I'm also in the place where I'm gonna need to reach out and get donations from people, and
Mhm.
sometimes there's a feeling of
I have a problem with that, Chris.
like I don't want to reach out. I don't want to
That's
ask people
me.
for things.
That is me.
And so like, but
That is me.
you're doing it. You create these
Barely,
things like, yeah.
barely, barely.
So like, tell me about kind of like because you are the HBIC, the leader.
Right?
You said that you're the HBIC, so I'm just gonna
I know.
use
No,
that
no,
out there.
no. It's in my tag on my,
Yeah. You're
if
like,
you don't know what that
I
is,
came
I'm the
on his
head
show,
bitch
he
in
called me
charge,
a
y'all. I'm the
HBIC.
head bitch in charge. Yeah. You know,
So
I'm
how
a
do you work through that? And how you're saying you're still
okay.
working
So
through it?
I'm gonna tell you something
Yeah.
because I'm in therapy.
Okay. Me too.
Um,
Per.
see, hey, um, as much as I seem like I really got my shit together, kind of like I don't. And
Mhm.
I mean, and this is
Right.
full disclosure. Like I do yoga. I mean, I just had this conversation.
Mhm.
I do yoga. God put me here to help people as a healer, as a
Mhm.
magician. That's what I do. I don't do numbers.
Mhm.
And to this date, that my taxes just happened,
Mhm.
that's biting me in my ass. Like by the grace of God. I mean, and that's the thing. I have a husband in the movie business.
Mhm.
If I didn't have a husband to kind of help hold me down a bit, I wouldn't be able
Mhm.
to do this. And that's just keeping it a buck.
Right.
And I also have a problem with asking for help.
Mhm.
I have, I mean, I've been in my house in tears. Like, I've had a few GoFundMe's and I was like, oh my God, I don't want to ask people for help. They're going to judge me. Blah, 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 blah. And I've had some students put in my ear, People want to help you.
Mhm.
People want to help you. Trust me. And lo and behold, it's people who want to help me. So I mean, it's still kind of like a let me
Yeah.
see. But I I'm a giver. I'm
Mhm.
a giver. I'm a giver. So it's hard for me to receive.
Mhm.
I mean, like I said, I'm a hug whore. Like I
Yeah.
love to hug people. Oh, I love to hug.
Virtual hug.
I, yeah, but you don't need to hug me back. Like you understand what like it's the thing. Like I want to feed you. You don't need to feed me.
Mm.
You understand? So that is kind of what I'm trying to plot twist right now because I'm kind of blocking my blessings with that. That's what
Right.
and I get it and I have to learn to receive. I have to learn to receive. I mean I'm worthy of receiving and I'm working on that because I just want to get here just take it. I mean, I'll give you my last dollar
Mhm.
knowing I need the damn thing. Like, but that's just, and it's not, I mean, and I'm a Leo and I'm fierce. Don't get it twisted. Like, I'm not some weak bitch. Trust, no, 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 no.
Mhm.
What I'm saying is I like, and as a matter of fact, speaking of that, I just got scammed last month.
Mhm.
They took all my money. And I just found out a week ago today
Mhm.
that Chase is not giving me my money back.
Mm.
Right. So someone was like, do a GoFundMe. And I'm like, I just did a GoFundMe for this shit. Like
Right.
it's so that. Um, so I took that as a lesson.
Mhm.
Because I trusted someone who reached out to me over the internet
Mhm.
and they were very hey Jill, how's the yoga studio? Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, oh hey girl. Like
Mhm. Yeah.
and sent me a check that was bogus. I cashed the check. And she was like, pay my driver. I was like, okay. And it turns out that the driver didn't never existed. So I sent her money back and now it's my money. So I mean,
Wow.
it's not, I mean, it's and it took me and it happened right before I went to Cape Verde.
Mhm.
So it I was in the K hole for about 2 days
Right.
because I think, no, I don't think I know. Everything happens for a reason.
Mhm.
And I had to talk to the gods and the goddesses and all the people like, why did this happen to me?
Mm.
Like, I had to go to the police station over in Bed-Stuy,
Mhm.
and I was like, I had to explain to the officer, Officer Hernandez, and I actually have a card for him in my car.
Mhm.
Um, I explained to him, I said, I'm a Black-owned yoga business. I said,
Mhm.
so what I do is that I change lives. I said, how I change lives, I said, someone who might want to commit suicide, that I can talk to them and hold them, that'll be a less situation that you have to deal with. I said, that's what I do. I said, I'm for my community. I'm for my people. And he actually was like, oh, and he wrote me an incident report, like which helped me to help. So it went so like
Mhm.
it's Chris, it's so like I'm
Mhm.
just feeling because it's so it hurt me, it
Mhm.
hurt me to my heart. Like I don't treat people like shit.
Right.
So that's the thing. Like, so now I'm going out and I'm like trying to still heal and love and
Mhm.
but it's the thing. Well, it's a process. I mean, it'll heal. My heart is hurt, but it's healing. And I just got to chalk it up as a loss. And my mama just told me I can write it off as a tax loss, so I'm gonna deal with it.
Okay.
So yeah,
Can you write it
so
off? Great.
yeah,
We're gonna do it.
yeah, so yeah, that's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, and I think like sometimes people look at people who are online and they're like, this person's successful, and you're just like, there's
Oh,
so much that goes into
it's-
running a business and just
you're doing
personally
it. You're
what's
doing
going
it.
on, you know?
You're doing it. I mean,
Yeah.
this is not for the faint at heart. It's
Mm-mm.
not. I mean, and like I said, it's spirituality. I mean, and even for some people in the Black community, they
Mhm.
think yoga is the devil work,
Right.
you know. So when I can get like an older Caribbean, I mean, like I
Mhm.
used to teach, they're working it out, but I teach
Mhm.
at this at Major Owens. I taught senior citizens chair yoga. And to
Hmm.
have these Caribbean women who's never done yoga, who's
Yeah.
70 plus, like 80 plus, and next thing you know, and they looking at me and they like and roll, and then next thing you know, after a month, they're like lifting their arms up. I'm like,
Yeah.
and they love me and they make cakes for me. Like it's that's what it is. Like, you know what, the skinny white girls, they gonna be good. Like they, you
Yeah.
because white folks run the world. Look at what we do. Look at what's going on right now.
Hmm.
I'm trying to tap into the people who are not seen.
Right.
The people who are not seen. That's what I'm here to do. The people who can't afford Lululemon. I want
Mm.
to get to the people who maybe got to go to the thrift and get a pair of pants.
Right.
That's
So,
that's what we need. That's what people, you know what it is? That's what it needs to do. Like people need to advertise. Oh, I'm giving them a gem. And go out and reach out to those communities and maybe to these schools or maybe to these shelters and start to teach in there. I mean, I was also on the board of Lineage Project,
hmm
which is associated with teaching in the prisons. Like it's just, you know, do something. Do
hmm
something. I mean, dig down deep. I'm trying to tap.
whatever you would like to like end on, I give you the floor.
Be kind. Be kind. Be kind because you don't know. And I mean, I actually, when I was in Ghana, one of my students who I was trying to hold committed suicide. So you don't know anyone's story. And, and the thing about it is, and I have to say this because my brother's gay, I'm an ally, all that shit, and LGBT, all of those things. Can I tell you something? I want to say it's a human race, but when you see these little black girls or little black boys or little black people come into your space, embrace them. Embrace them. Don't judge them. You don't know their story because they're trying to come in and find a space to be, even if you can't see them, support them and be kind. That's it.